Pro golfers are stunned, and fans even more so. CharlieWoods has just faced one of the most challenging moments of his young career, and the golf world is buzzing. For decades, the name Woods has been synonymous with greatness, thanks to Tiger Woods, who didn't just dominate golf, he redefined it. Now the spotlight is shifting to his 16-year-old son, Charlie. Though he has shown flashes of brilliance, recent events have shaken the hype in unexpected ways. Charlie isn't just another junior golfer. He's been in the public eye since his first swing, walking alongside Tiger at the PNC Championship and earning spots in elite junior tournaments. His composed demeanor and effortless swing have earned praise from golf legends, and media outlets have been quick to label him the next big thing before he's even played a full professional round. But being Tiger's son is both a privilege and a heavy burden. Every birdie, every bogey, every small mistake is magnified under the weight of expectation. From packed galleries to constant media attention, Charlie has lived a life most junior golfers can't imagine. Until recently, he managed it all with the calm of a seasoned pro, but cracks have begun to show in recent months. Even so, he's remained competitive, even dominant at times. His selection for the Junior Invitational at Sage Valley, one of the most prestigious junior golf events, was a strong endorsement from the sport's inner circle. Golf Monthly highlighted the decision, suggesting Charlie was exactly where he belonged. Among the elite, CharlieWoods may be one of the most promising young prospects in golf, but despite all the hype and opportunity, it's becoming clear that his story is no longer a fairy tale. The pressure is mounting behind the scenes, from media, from fans, and perhaps even from within his own camp. Everyone seems to want Charlie to become the next Tiger Woods, but without granting him the time, space, or freedom to grow, stumble, and learn. And stumble he has. In recent weeks, murmurs have spread across locker rooms, golf Twitter, and even among fellow professionals. Something happened that made even seasoned veterans pause and say, "That's too much for a kid." Because this next chapter in Charlie's the journey isn't about victories or viral highlights, it's about frustration, fan interference, and a performance that left the golf world in shock. From the moment he stepped onto the tee box, something felt off. The expectations were sky high. CharlieWoods, the son of the greatest to ever swing a golf club, wasn't just entering another junior event. He was stepping into a stage that truly mattered. The Cognizant Classic pre-qualifier, a legitimate path into a PGA Tour event. The pressure was real. The pros were watching. The media was watching. And most of all, the fans were watching. What happened next? No one could have predicted Charlie shot an 86, a staggering 16 over par round that left even veteran observers stunned. But it wasn't just the score that shocked people, it was the atmosphere. According to Yahoo Sports, the environment at Palm Beach Gardens quickly spun out of control. Spectators flooded the ropes, cameras constantly flashed, and, most disturbingly, there were hecklers, yes, hecklers targeting a 16-year-old during a PGA Tour pre-qualifier. The crowd wasn't there to support, they were there to provoke, to get a viral clip, to capture a moment they could post. And it showed. You could see it in Charlie's body language. He wasn't just battling the course. He was battling the noise, the chaos, the weight of expectation far beyond his years. Charlie's usual calm and rhythm were gone. He fidgeted, looked unsettled, and the fluidity in his swing turned rushed, tight, even defensive. Each hole became a mental grind, not just against par, but against a crowd that didn't seem to understand boundaries. Yahoo Sports didn't hold back, reporting that the chaos surrounding CharlieWoods was unlike anything typically seen in pre-qualifying events, and that the large gallery and disruptive behavior clearly affected his focus and composure. But this wasn't just a bad round for a 16-year-old trying to earn a spot among professionals. It was utter chaos. What should have been a career milestone turned into a media storm, robbing him of the chance to prove himself, to silence the doubters, and to show that he belongs. Instead, it was drowned in distractions, poor fan etiquette, and pressure no teenager should ever be asked to carry, while the internet was quick to criticize. The truth is harsh. Charlie didn't choke, he was thrown to the wolves. This wasn't a low-profile qualifier with respectful fans. It was a spectacle, a circus, with cameras flashing and hecklers shouting, celebrity culture colliding with a game built on composure and routine. By the time he walked off the 18th green, Charlie looked visibly defeated, surrounded by microphones and murmurs. Most junior golfers would quietly disappear after a day like that. But Charlie isn't most junior golfers, for better or worse. Every shot he takes is now headline material. And this rough outing at the Cognizant Classic, it's not the end of the story, it's the beginning of a much deeper conversation about pressure, privacy, and the question no one wants to ask: how much is too much? As soon as CharlieWoods' score of 86 hit the leaderboard, the reactions began pouring in, and what quickly became clear was that nearly everyone had something to say. Some voices were sympathetic, others far less so, but most agreed on one thing: what Charlie endured out there wasn't fair. GolfWRX described the scene as a circus, citing the overwhelming fan presence and complete lack of crowd control that transformed a routine pre-qualifier into a media spectacle. One former pro, quoted anonymously, put it bluntly, "This wasn't a tournament, it was a public experiment, and the subject was a teenager." Let that sink in. Charlie Woods isn't even old enough to drive himself to the course. He didn't ask for worldwide fame, he was born into it. Yet now, every poor swing becomes a headline, every missed fairway dissected by armchair critics who've never faced a gallery, let alone one rooting more for drama than performance. And so, the question must be asked, is the golf world setting Charlie up to fail, or are we simply holding him to an impossible standard? Even veteran players are expressing concern. One Golf Monthly contributor noted, "What Charlie went through in Florida is something most pros don't experience until the weekend of a major. He's still figuring out who he is as a player, let the kid breathe." Tiger's former peers, the ones who once competed against the elder Woods in his prime, have quietly echoed similar concerns. They know how unforgiving this sport can be mentally, emotionally, and when you add media chaos, generational pressure, and the weight of a legendary last name, it's a perfect storm for burnout. Still, not everyone is offering empathy. Some critics argue Charlie needs to toughen up, with one sports radio segment even asking if he's just another overhyped name without the game to back it up. But that take misses the entire point. Charlie's story is still unfolding. He's not just chasing birdies, he's learning how to carry the weight of expectations that most adults couldn't bear. And to his credit, through all of it, he hasn't backed down, he hasn't walked away. Through it all, Charlie Woods has shown up, competed, and taken the hits publicly and with more grace than most adults could manage. But the real question isn't whether Charlie has what it takes, it's whether the system around him will allow him to grow without suffocating him. If every round becomes a referendum on his future, if every tournament is treated as an audition, but for greatness, then we've already failed him. Golf is just as mental as it is physical, and this level of scrutiny, this relentless attention, may shape Charlie's mental game more than any coach ever could. The true challenge ahead isn't just about results, it's about resilience, balance, and surviving the spotlight without letting it crush who he's becoming. Because if we're honest, this story isn't just about golf anymore. At first, the tale of Charlie Woods was all spark and promise. The name alone was enough to stir hope of another Woods era. Every swing he took drew headlines, but as time passed and tournaments stacked up, reality started to push back. It hasn't just been one rough outing. At the U.S. Junior Amateur, one of junior golf's biggest stages, Charlie arrived with buzz and expectation, only to shoot rounds of 82 and 80, missing the cut by a staggering 18 strokes. For someone labeled the sport's next prodigy, it wasn't just disappointing, it was a wake-up call. Then came the U.S. Open local qualifier, a shot at the big leagues, with pressure at its peak and a field full of talent. Charlie posted at 9 over par 81. Once again, his name drifted to the bottom of the leaderboard. 2 big chances, 2 missed cuts. And with that, the conversation changed. The golf world is now divided. On one side are the realists, those who say, he's only 16. What did you expect? They remind us that Tiger wasn't winning majors at this age either. They speak of patience, perspective, and the long journey ahead. But on the other side are the critics, those who see the last name, the headlines, and expect magic now. The sponsorship buzz, the media coverage, the endless speculation, it all begs the same question. Is this hype justified? Some have started to question whether Charlie Woods' game truly matches the branding surrounding him. Others argue that if you want to play on the big stages, you'd better be ready for big-time scrutiny. But here's the uncomfortable truth no one wants to admit. This isn't the dominance many expected, but maybe that's exactly what makes it matter. Charlie's not out here posting recording courts or cruising to junior titles. He's struggling, and that's what makes his story human, relatable, and in many ways more important. Because what we're witnessing isn't just another privileged teen playing in his father's shadow, we're watching a young athlete learning just how brutal the road to greatness really is. The numbers tell the story. According to AP News, his US Open qualifier score left him far outside contention. His junior amateur performance, as reported by People, didn't live up to expectations either. But again, he showed a hand in golf. Sometimes that matters more than the leaderboard, because this game humbles everyone. Tiger's had missed cuts, Rory's had slumps, even the greatest have struggled. And Charlie, he's just getting started. These aren't setbacks, they're shaping moments. Not the kind that go viral, but the kind that build character. So what now? Does he let the weight of it all crush him, or does he use it as fuel? The next few tournaments won't just test his game, they'll test his mindset. Because the question isn't whether Charlie Woods can play. It's whether he can survive everything that comes with being Charlie Woods. And now, all eyes turn to Sage Valley. The Junior Invitational isn't just another tournament, it's one of the most elite junior events on the planet. The competition is fierce. The players already being watched by college recruiters, agents, and sponsors. For Charlie, it's more than just a chance to compete, it's a chance to reset the narrative. After a season filled with missed cuts and crushing headlines, this is his moment for redemption. Sage Valley offers something he hasn't had all year: a clean slate. It's quiet, it's focused, and most importantly, it's pure golf. No hecklers, no circus, just talent versus talent. But make no mistake, the pressure is still very real. Because while the fairways may be calm, everyone watching knows exactly what's at stake. If Charlie performs, everything changes. The headlines shift from failure to growth. The story pivots from overhyped to rising star. He's no longer just Tiger's son, he's Charlie Woods. But if things unravel again, if the pressure creeps in, if the scorecard tells another tough story, then the scrutiny will only intensify. So how will Team Woods respond? Tiger has been by his side every step, walking the fairways, analyzing the swing, offering calm amid chaos. But with the stakes rising, will he take a step back and give Charlie space to breathe? Or will he lean in and sharpen the competitive edge that built the Woods legacy in the first place? That's what the golf world is watching for, because this isn't about swing mechanics anymore, it's about resilience. It's about how a teenager born into greatness handles failure. It's about how a father who conquered the sport helps his son navigate its harshest lessons. Sage Valley is the perfect test. No noise, no drama, just pressure, performance, and the chance to write a different chapter. If Charlie shines, it could flip the entire narrative. But if he stumbles again, the questions only get louder. All eyes are on Sage Valley. Will this be the moment of redemption or another shocking